You're listening to From a Certain Point Askew, the only Star Wars podcast whose invite to celebration was revoked. I am Jason, the Ginger Jedi Guy, broadcasting live from inside the one and only Wookiee Poo Studios. Unfortunately for myself, I am not alone, so it's not just me you're going to listen to. So let me introduce your favorite wretched scum, scoundrels, and smugglers. First up, my neighbor from Corellia, neighbor Cole. You're here. We don't say that anymore. How you doing?
I'm here, I'm near,
yeah,
and I'm dear in your hearts. I thought I cleaned that up rather nicely for
you did.
Being
this is a family-oriented show. We are always rated G on this podcast.
Yep, rated G. Knocking the dust off a little bit this morning. It took a little bit of brain stew going on behind the scenes here to get us going. We haven't been on mic together in a little while, so
it does feel rusty.
I just want to say thank you for having me down, like always. Thank you for angling your deflector shields in an appropriate manner so I could come in through the back door.
Yes. You're welcome in my back door anytime.
That's where I'm most comfortable.
Okay.
We are not alone here.
We've got a watcher
in the studios. We got a voyeur, if you will.
Yeah.
He likes to watch. He was really showing us his eyes when he came on the Skype this morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's our third micer, Darth Matthews, aka Mart.
Hello. So this is the second straight show where Jay has opened it by saying he's sad that he's not alone.
Yeah, is he trying to tell us something,
Are you trying to do a solo podcast? Is that what you want to do?
Low-key?
Well, I'm taking over, like, Elon Musk is my hero, and I'm going to do a hostile takeover.
Okay.
Are you talking,
yeah.
Matt, are you like a solo?
I'm hoping you guys take poison pills.
Make solo happen podcast, not solo.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on. It has been I think almost 3 weeks since we recorded something like that. So good to see you guys again. If you would like to get more information about our show, go to FromACertainPointAskew.com and find us on Twitter at FACPAPod. And some of you emailed us this week. We appreciate it. You can do that, FACPAPod@gmail.com. And, of course, we're part of the Podawan Podcast Network at Podawans on Twitter.
Happy to be part of the Podawans on the Podawans Network.
For sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we love them. We love those guys.
Yeah, we know Matt does.
I haven't recorded with them in a while.
Oh, I smell a breakup. That's unfortunate. All right,
Just
what's
when you're
happening
going
on this?
solo. Here comes the breakup.
What's happening on this show? We don't know. We're in the middle. We're in like a weird spot. We're trying to figure things out all the time because there's no content really. But we do have some news, and we made something up so you can enjoy. So on the show, first up, we got our question of the week: the life of a Toydarian. Did I say that right? Toydarian? Mm-hmm. All right. And then our news, lots of news. Star Wars Celebration panels and guests. We got Kenobi updates, Ahsoka news, Mando Season 3 wraps. Oh, it's coming. Star Wars Visions Season 2. I don't know if we're excited for that. We'll get into that. And then we're gonna big bulk of the show is George Lucas's sequel trilogy. That's right, he's coming back. The all the cease and desist and the complaint letters on the internet, they won over. He's redoing the trilogy. You heard about it here first.
You can look for some new toys coming out by Kenner's shortly.
Yep. And then we got the Maul Bag, 6 emails, sort of. And then we're going to wrap up with our Pacta or Factpa.
It's a mouthful.
We're going to wrap up with Factpa or Fiction. This is our third round. So we got some answers from Laybourne. And then we've got new questions.
Yes.
Okay.
For as much as we disdain that man, we allow him into the show very often.
He worms his way in there, doesn't he?
He really is. He's like
I think it's his kink.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trying to break up shows from the inside.
He's our submissive.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the gimp.
Yep.
Put him in the cage.
Every week he just fucking lubes his body up and sits down. Let's see what they say about me.
All right. Who's reading that question of the week?
I think Jay, he wrote it. He can write it.
I did write this. All right. No, you have to read it because the end has or at least you have to read that bit.
Okay.
Okay. All right. What do you think Watto's home life was like? This is my question. Did he have a family? Did he walk slave boy Anakin home at night to start over?
Maybe someone else should read it.
Did he walk? Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want me to read
it? Let's start this over. I don't want to read shit.
All right, I'll read it. What do you think Watto's home life was like? Did he have a family? Did he walk slave boy Anakin home at night so Sebulba didn't come out from the shadows and shiv him in the dusty streets? Maybe Watto frequented the cantina every night before going home to his fat slob of a wife who couldn't even lift herself off the ground anymore and always cooked the same porridge and talked down to him for not becoming something of himself. Maybe he had weekly trysts with those filthy buggers traveling from port to port because even Watto wants to make me feel good every once in a while. I did my best.
Want to make me feel good.
Yes.
You got to get the throatiness in there.
Sorry.
What is it? Monsters Ball, right?
Yeah, Monsters Ball.
Yeah.
Halle Berry, Billy Bob Thornton. Hella burr.
So thoughts. Let's this is if Watto got his own series.
I feel like Watto would be in a overstretched, stained wife beater in his house, with like some mustard stains and some
I can see
other
that.
stuff, like just
like
crumpling, wrinkling it up.
Like if we got an interior view of an episode of Cops before they arrive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those were not my droids. I don't know where they come from. He sounds like he's a bit Armenian, like the way his voice comes out. So.
Well, there was a lot of people had a big problem. Those prequels came out. There's a lot of racist because all the aliens had a very specific.
The Trade Federation guys were
right.
That was pretty problematic.
Were they supposed to be what? Asians?
There was
exactly.
I remember I was 5 minutes into that movie and I'm like, oh, George is going here, huh?
Right.
It stood out.
That's interesting because I don't even that didn't even hit my radar. I just don't think that way. I don't think I'm just built to look for stuff like that.
Okay.
So maybe it's just my white privilege spilling out.
Yeah, there were definitely some characters you're like, go, a little cringy, but I don't know. I don't think he ever goes home. He always was in his shop, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine he's got a frog. He lives above the shop.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, it's what does the frog stand for?
Oh.
We do this every time.
Oh, fuck, it's
Over garage. Something rental over garage. Family room.
Because I always want to say it's the mother-in-law thing, but that's a different. What are those? Family room over garage.
Okay.
I think so.
I feel like that's where he just stays, and it's just a dusty cot. Maybe he sleeps in a harness because maybe he doesn't want to crinkle.
He's just got
fold his
when your
wings.
kids are young. Sometimes you get those nets or those hammocks in the corner, and you shove all the stuffed animals in it.
Yeah.
I think that's just what he's got.
Like a fruit hammock for your kitchen.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
He's definitely got a CPAP. I mean, let's be real.
He's got Anakin building him one.
His triple chins really gives him some fucking. He doesn't get into REM sleep very well.
I mean, if he's a hot mess like he looks, that's pretty bad when he's that aggressive about his wife. Fat slob who can't get herself off the floor.
Oh, we're making this canon now? Like you just said,
it is canon.
It's
yeah.
a fact.
Anything that happens in this show is canon. This isn't even legendary, legacy stuff. This is canon.
Well, yeah, he's something to look at.
What if he was like a heartthrob for his race?
Like he's it.
Yeah.
Watto's the guy?
That's why he never leaves, because when he walks out, it's just it looks like the red light district. Yeah.
Maybe they are. Maybe his shop is in the red light district.
Could be.
So who are the filthy buggers traveling from port to port? Did you have any sort of people in mind?
Yeah, like the smugglers and the pirates and the whatever coming in, yeah.
The wretched scoundrels that
exactly. Like if we were to visit.
inhabit Tatooine?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Great question.
Thank you.
Really dug deep for
Hey,
that
motherfuckers, you had nothing.
That's true.
And I put down 7 of them.
I was trying to work one up, but then I looked at your fucking word vomit in our chat, and I said, okay, Jay's obviously had an energy drink and didn't tell Kyle.
I didn't. No.
Yeah.
No.
Clearly, back on the juice.
Coffee only.
You ready for the news?
Yeah, let's do some news.
Okay, so first up, as we record this episode, we are a little over 5 weeks away from Star Wars Celebration. Sadly, there will be no FACPA booth or panel. Maybe next time.
That is sad.
Yeah.
We could bring the table out and
Squeak
it.
Bring the creaky table with us.
Hey,
It won't be
there's
the
the
same
FACPA
to
guys.
people if they don't hear that creak.
Yeah.
This is bullshit. This is a fake. This is a fraud.
I got to bring the dogs
Yeah, you got to bring the
because we got to have some barking in the
Cats crawling
background.
all over you.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can get Rufus on a plane. I feel like the atmospheric pressure might just snap his frail bones. Kyle, I hope you hear this. Put that dog down.
I don't think she listens anymore. We lost her at Book of Boba Fett.
Make sure you bring that door too, because that's always part of the show as well. But there will be a lot of other panels. So first of all, there's what they said is a live action showcase, which is filmmakers for Kenobi and the Mandalorian, along with special guests. That's on Thursday, May 26th, which I think is the reason why Kenobi got pushed back. But we'll get to that in a minute. So that'll be pretty crazy because it's got all those together. But then there's also a specific Mandalorian one that's on Saturday that's going to be Favloni and special guests, and they're supposed to be looking back and looking ahead. So a lot of Mando content here coming.
I wonder if they'll show probably it won't release to the internet, but I wonder if they'll show like a stinger, like a teaser or something for the season.
I would think so. I mean, they got to show something. Andor, you would think for sure, because it's the one that's coming sooner. I can't imagine they won't show something for Andor. And then also on Sunday there will be a Bad Batch panel. So maybe we actually get a fucking release date. I don't know.
There's got if anything drops out of there, like actually hits the internet for like everybody to see, it's probably going to be a Bad Batch trailer, right?
That
like,
has to be
why
there.
wouldn't it? Yeah,
You would think so. And that one is pretty cool. It includes D. Bradley Baker, the fucking legend, Michelle Ang, or is it Ong? I'm not sure. The gal who does the voice for Omega. Executive producers Brad Rao and Jen Corbett, as well as the story editor for the show. So that's Sunday. That's the last day.
okay.
So a lot of shit coming out over the course of, 4 days. But then some of the guests they have. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of some of the guests. Carl Weathers, a.k.a. Beef Cargo. Katie Sackhoff, Bo-Katan. Amy Allen, who's Ayla Secura, who is like the Twi'lek Jedi from Clone Wars, which makes me think, what? Do we know she's going to be in something?
Twi'lek Jedi from Clone Wars.
Yeah, she's the
gets
one that
good.
she
One of
gets
the people that gets
dropped.
By her own troops in the field of like,
and like the
mystical
fluorescent.
flowers.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's one.
It was Darth Talon's sister.
Was it?
No, I just made that up.
Oh,
Darth Talon's going to come up later.
I know.
Emily Swallow, the Armorer, Daniel Logan, Young Boba, Giancarlo Esposito, Anthony Daniels, sorry, Cole, Ian McDermott.
why are you sorry for me? Who did you
Because
say?
he's C-3PO.
C-3PO.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I mean, the list goes on and on. It's just a crazy list. They also have like voice actors like Ashley Eckstein, Sam Witwer, and Matt Lanter. So there are a fuck ton of people that are going to be at this event. And I mean, they haven't had one for quite a while because of COVID.
Right.
So they're just dropping it all in there. So I think you're going to get a ton of announcements. I don't want to build ourselves up again because we do this all the time. And then then it falls flat.
Yeah.
But given like how much stuff you see coming out from, I don't want to compare it to Marvel all the time, but from all the Marvel stuff coming out and the fact that we just don't get a lot of Star Wars news, this has to just be an absolute dump of shit.
And I'm wondering if that's why they've been holding off on things.
Yeah.
Because this hasn't happened in a while, so this event will be kind of big.
They
I
want
keep
oohs and
forgetting-
ahs.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about Bad Batch season 2, and that was I've been reburning through Bad Batch just to check it out again, and man, it's so like I don't know, it's good. It pulls me back in again for the second time. So you guys should probably start doing your homework as well, getting ready to go.
Get
for
started
Bad Batch
now.
season 2. Yeah, get started now because Matt likes to burn through everything 2 days before.
Yeah.
I do.
19 episodes. I can't close my eyes. I gotta watch this.
Is that how many episodes are in the first season?
I think there were 12, weren't
12?
I thought it was
Was there
16.
13? Was
there? Could
it?
have been 16. I don't know. Fucking sure. Just threw a number
I do
out
have to
there.
go back through it, just refresh myself. And I enjoyed the series, so it won't be difficult.
I'm excited to see where they go. I mean, they kind of left it, what's his face? Crosshairs.
Crosshails.
They left him on a platform.
On the platform, yeah. And they flew off into
Yeah.
the sunset, yeah.
And he looks at him petulantly. Good soldiers still follow orders.
I'm not backing down from that. Fuck.
Yeah. Where's my toothpick?
Got it tattooed on his lower back.
You think it's a flavored toothpick? I think it's like a cinnamon.
Like, yeah.
Oh, I strike him as more of a mint guy.
That makes sense. He likes that fresh breath.
I just got like this vision in my head. Like he reminds me of this. He's like a descendant of Boomhauer.
Matt just did you didn't catch it? Matt just did like one of the ones with the but he did it without the bass in his voice.
I
He's
hear
like,
it.
Did you have any other thoughts on Celebration? I just thought, exciting. Can't wait.
So
for it.
celebration.
It didn't seem to have like any. Did you say Diego Luna was going to be there?
No, they didn't mention him.
So no Rosario Dawson, no
Nope.
Pedro Pascal, no. So there's like
There, you would expect that you're going to see somebody. You're going to get some surprise guests too. I think these are just the ones that were announced.
okay, all right,
So I wouldn't be surprised to see some of those, especially Diego Luna. I could see him showing up.
right,
For sure.
yeah.
That made a lot of
Hayden
sense.
Christensen, somebody, come on.
Yeah, I don't know if you get Hayden again. Maybe I'm not sure. Given that close to the show launching and all that, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Speaking of Kenobi, as I mentioned earlier, we got news that the Kenobi series got pushed back a couple days, and I think it had to do with that live action panel happening on Thursday. They didn't want to put the show out before that. That would be my hunch. So they announced that a little bit ago that they were pushing it back 2 days to the 27th. And so now we not only get one, we get 2 episodes on the 27th.
yeah.
Have you looked at what's happening on May 27th? I was just talking to Chris Meyer about this on our liner notes. New episode 200 coming out soon. Thanks for sending something in, Cole.
You're welcome, buddy.
Appreciate that.
Oh, I forgot to do that. You know how many times I meant to do that too?
I thought he was getting mad at me. Like, did it not come through?
No.
Cole sent something.
I'm waiting for 201. That's my favorite.
That's already recorded. We already got that recorded.
Well, you dropped the ball.
Hopefully you lambaste Jay For you know,
They
this
should
is just,
be.
This is just strengthening our coup.
Yeah.
Matt and I are really forming a bond now. Like
we're gonna form a Star Wars music podcast.
Only Broadway tunes only.
But have you seen what's coming out May 27th? It's 2 episodes of Kenobi, Top Gun 2, and Stranger Things 4.
Yeah.
All dropping on that Friday. Holy fuck.
Well, I better put a vacation in there.
I know. Are we working that day?
Well, let's be real. We could just watch all that at work.
That's true. That's true.
That is
Except
true.
for Top Gun.
Except for Top Gun, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my kids didn't like the first Top Gun.
I'd disown them.
It pissed me off. Like, they were playing on their phones. I about damn near threw their phones out of the kitchen window.
How do they not fucking get
Just
along?
weren't into it.
Do you think it's the time? Like, was it too old?
I don't know.
Is Tom Cruise not manly or sexy or good looking enough?
I played it for Cole, so expecting him to sign up for the armed forces.
Right. Yeah.
Armed services.
I mean, just the intro with some Kenny Loggins.
I don't know what happened. I don't know where I went wrong.
And if you like Kenny Loggins, tune into that episode 200 because you're going to like something.
Okay.
But yeah, my older son, getting choked up, played it for him. He's seen it a few times now, The Consultant, and he just loves it because he kind of wants to fly planes later in life. So he's like all about that shit.
Has he got the 20/20? Has he got 20/20 vision?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Sharp eye.
He's got the best eyes in the house. This guy, no. These eyes are shit.
I had LASIK.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
See, I had radial keratotomy. No, I'm just kidding. that was like,
I have glaucoma.
that's what they did back in like the 80s. It was like this horribly invasive procedure to try to fix your eyesight. It's a bad idea.
Oh, really?
It's not like LASIK.
There's I don't know if that's what it is, but there's a cheap version of LASIK where they don't use the laser, but they actually cut with like a scalpel or whatever. And it's like healing process is like 7 or 8 days longer and it's terrible. And I'm like, I went in there going to do that because I'm cheap. Because it's like a third of the price. And the doctor's like, okay, well, I just want to let you know what's going on. And then he like talked me out of it. I was sitting there in the waiting room like, okay, just give me the fucking LASIK. I can't handle the pain.
Yeah, you don't want to skimp on eyesight
There's a
procedures.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Because that could go horribly wrong.
I got a Groupon for this LASIK surgery. Can I use it here?
Yeah.
That and circumcisions you don't want to skimp on.
Yeah. You want a very top-notch moil.
Yeah, when the ad for the place you're going says buy 2 eyes, get 1 free, you're like, what? I don't understand that.
Buy a third one. It's like the mod shop on Tatooine where they fucking put in a new mod.
Yeah. Also, important note on the release schedule. So Kenobi drops those 2 on Friday. Then they go back to a Wednesday release schedule. So we're going to get 3 episodes in 5 days, which is pretty crazy because that series is going to be over fast.
Yeah. So So we're looking at 6 episodes in 5 weeks.
Yeah. Pretty
How
much.
are we gonna handle that? Are we gonna space them out?
Well, I think what we do, and we can sort this out later, but I figured we just do episodes 1 and 2 for the first show, and then we'll just go episode by episode after that, do the weekly schedule. As long as that works with Jay and his other podcast.
Okay.
Your other Star Wars podcast.
Yeah. The one that's coming up.
Yes.
Yeah. Thinking of doing a musical podcast.
He always makes sure he drops it before ours.
30 seconds before.
Yeah.
Ours is going to be called From a Certain Point of Shoe. We're just going to talk about the different type of shoes that the stormtroopers wear, grip patterns.
It's very
knee-high,
niche. I like that.
Knee-high, ankle, some of the, mid-thigh.
We're the only Star Wars shoes podcast. And also a couple other notes. In writing news, they announced the writers for the first 5 episodes. And Jay, you probably know more about these people than we do. Episodes 1 and 2 are Joby Harold, who did Army of Darkness and King Arthur. Hossein Hamini, who did Drive. Love that movie. And Stuart Beatty, who did Collateral and
Stuart Beatty he did the Pirates.
He did one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
The first one.
Black Pearl or one.
Yep.
I can't remember which one. Yeah. So those guys are all involved in the first 2 episodes. And then episodes 3 and 4 includes all 3 of them, plus Hannah Friedman, who did like Wet Hot American Summer and who's doing an episode of the Willow series that's coming up.
Okay.
Episode 5 mentions Harold again and Andrew Stanton. He of Pixar, Toy Story.
That's the director of, he did Shrek, right?
Did he do Shrek?
Andrew
I just know he did
Stanton,
all the Toy Stories, and he did a bunch of Pixar movies.
And he did, he was, I think his first live action, am I right? It's the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was Andrew Stanton, I think.
Cole and I are going to go, yep.
Okay.
It's still
that stuff better than we do.
It still to this day amazes me. What do you do with your free time? Because you fucking he just mentioned 15 people. I had never heard of any of them, and you're like, oh yeah. You got something to say about everybody. I just don't understand it.
I love it.
He traps that shit in his head.
Yeah.
No writer revealed for episode 6, the finale. So
George Lucas.
oh, there you go. There would be a curveball.
Right.
Speaking of Joby Harold, he did an interview with Entertainment Weekly and kind of shared some details about the tone of the series. You've been hearing how it's going to be bleak and all that stuff. So he said, quote, it takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith in a time of darkness in the galaxy. The Empire is in its ascendancy, and all the horrors that come with the Empire are being made manifest all the horrors that come with the Empire are being made manifest through the galaxy, and the Jedi Order as we know them are being all but wiped out. So everything that was in the prequels has crumbled. So we'll get to see Kenobi in he's just going to be absolutely fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
He says he's struggling with his faith in the Jedi, and his faith's tested, and that's why he has to go on this journey to... He basically was describing it as, you're going to see him come in a broken man from what we saw in the prequels, and then by the end of the series, he's going to be basically lined up with what we see in A New Hope.
Okay.
It's the bridge.
That's not speculation. That's actually...
That's what the writer's saying.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah,
I didn't hear you said was saying that.
Yep.
He's going to start off as Tom Hanks in Castaway. That's what he's going to look like. About 7 years into the island. Just sitting out there eating raw fish.
Except he has no Wilson. Who's his Wilson?
Well, yet. It's gonna be one of those fucking stupid ass droid heads he's gonna find in episode 2 and just carry it around with him.
So he has someone to talk to. A severed head of another Jedi, but that'd be kind of dark, wouldn't it?
It could be BB-8's head.
Dude, the Star Wars community would crumble if that's what they did. You just find out we don't know the story. We just know BB-8's head travels with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
What if we get a suicide scene where he's just fucking
he's got a noose around.
He's got his bed sheet fucking wrapped around his head. He's trying to pull him on fucking the Count of Monte Cristo. He's trying to kill himself. And
he's trying to use the Force. It's tied to a boulder.
And right then Qui-Gon goes, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
The Force Ghost comes in and saves him at the end.
Force choking himself while he feverishly masturbates.
I was gonna say it's gonna turn into.
We know where it's going. Me.
And then one last thing was that Rupert Friend, who plays the Grand Inquisitor with the funny head, he said, I think it's one of the most thrilling additions to the Star Wars canon. I think Ewan McGregor is doing things with that role that is a dream for fans of the original films. That'd be us. We can't obviously have Alec Guinness back, but I think Ewan was absolutely born to play the part. But wonderful cameos from people I obviously can't tell you about. Easter eggs galore. A thrilling ride. I know he's promoting his own show here, but
sure.
You'd expect there to be some cameos, and it sounds like there's going to be a lot.
Yes.
I'm excited. Did you see what Liam Neeson said yesterday?
Yeah, that he would only come back if it was a film. He doesn't do TV.
Yeah, they were asking him about the person who was interviewing didn't specifically ask, "Are you in Kenobi?" They said, would you come back to a Star Wars show or property or whatever?" And he said, "Yeah, but I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to TV. I must admit, I like the big screen." And it's like, oh fuck, that's a bunch of misdirection bullshit. You're in the show.
Well, yeah, he is full of shit because he showed up in an episode of
a few episodes.
Okay, of
as a Force Ghost.
No, I mean the Orville. He showed up a couple times on that, I think, because he's friends with Seth. Who's the guy that does Family Guy?
Seth Green? Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, but he also was in animation. He's done the voice. He also, well, of course, that was a movie, but he did, he brought his voice back for Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
But he's done other things. So it's not like
he's just saying that so no one questions whether he's in Star Wars.
But it's like he's protesting too much. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're just trying to throw us off. We know you're in this fucking show. There's no way you're in.
Yeah. Nice try, Liam.
Yeah. We're sniffing that shit out.
Is it Neeson or Nielsen?
Neeson.
It's always Jack Nicholson or Jack Nicholas.
Is it Baru or Baru?
It's Baru. We know.
Is it Ahsoka or Ashoka?
Damn Baru, beef cargo.
Yeah.
We got it all.
Speaking of Ashoka, they announced that Peter Ramsey is going to direct at least one episode of the series, and he won an Oscar, right, for the Into the Spider-Verse. Right?
There was 3 directors on the Spider-Verse. He was one of them. Yeah.
Okay, but he's only done animation. He has not done live action, so this would be his first foray into live action. And speaking of directors, one of our favorites, Bryce Dallas Howard, she said about the series, "You're going to love the Ahsoka show that's coming up. Fans of the Clone Wars will be greatly rewarded." So we're gonna get flashbacks.
So does that tell you that she's directing an episode?
Oh, you would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if she's involved that much, I would guess that she's. I think they're gearing her up for something.
A movie series or trilogy or something?
Yeah.
Or maybe her own series? I don't. It makes sense to have her own series, and like we've talked about before, let her do the Solo sequel or whatever that follow-up's going to be. She'd be great at it.
Yep,
she would.
Mando. We are still expecting Mando season 3 to come out sometime late this year, maybe early 2023. But depending on who you listen to, it sounds like they're done with the filming, because Carl Weathers tweeted about it. Giancarlo Esposito said he was putting like finishing touches. This was a couple weeks ago, I think, on his part. Then he's like, and I think it's going to come out this summer. I was like, I don't think it's going to come out that fast, Giancarlo. I think they're a little premature on that one. So it sounds like, though, we're getting closer and closer. I really hope that comes out this year. Like, I'm hoping they drop that closer to the holidays. But I guess it just depends on what they have lined up, because for fuck's sake, we still don't know about certain series, And then the only other thing I was going to mention is just that Misty Rosas is going to be in season 3. She played the body of Quill and the fish lady.
Yeah, she was the frog,
so she's
right?
She's the frog lady,
Yep.
sorry. Not fish lady, frog lady.
She's doing some solid work under those costumes.
Yeah, she is. And last note, Star Wars Visions, apparently there's a hot rumor that we'll be getting a second season, and it's coming this fall. So it's that far along. That's the rumor. And they even said that an announcement might, and possibly a teaser, might come out at Celebration.
Okay.
I don't know. Are you guys excited for a season 2 of Visions? Because I think we felt like certain episodes landed really well. Others were kind of meh.
As long as the band gets back together, it'll be okay.
We got to know what's going on with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I actually like the unknown with just you can start in on one and it's kind of a turd, and the next episode was really, really cool. A couple of those episodes were cool, like the first one, like the old school samurai vibe.
Right, that was cool. Yeah.
That was a cool one, and then the one where they were the robot on the planet one, where we were talking about the guy being a Union one. I can't remember. Oh. The guy that was just sitting there, they're supposed to transport him. The lightsaber episode where the guy that was the lightsaber maker.
And he had the little boy robot, right? Was that the same one?
It was the one where they were setting a trap. They set a trap for all the Force Jedi sensitive people.
Those are two different ones. Yeah, the one you're thinking of, Jay, is the one that almost looked like old Disney animation. Yeah, it was almost like a Pinocchio type thing going on.
Yep.
And then, but the other one you're talking about, Cole, was the one where, they bring all those Jedi together, and then the people turn on them. Yeah,
he's an ancient sword maker. He's a Jedi maker, lightsaber maker.
Yeah,
rather. That was a cool one too. I like that. Yeah, so I like the unpredictability of it. You know what I mean? You're just gonna get some studio in Japan's take on what they want to do with Star Wars.
You asked if I was excited. I would say I'm not excited, but I'm glad they're making more. Mm-hmm. So I can watch it and I'll like what I like. And
it's not like it's a huge investment. They're only, what were they like? Between 10 and 20 minutes or something like that. So
bring them on.
All right. Well, that is all for the news for our main topic today. So last week, a few weeks ago, we discussed what we might have got in episode 9 if Colin Trevorrow's script was used, or if the J.J. Abrams cut was released. And this week, we're going to go back to the mastermind and discuss what the entire sequel trilogy might have included had George Lucas not sold it to Disney. So I just want to walk through kind of some of the plot points. This is from an IGN article that I read where they gleaned a bunch of stuff from different books that had come out, like one from Pablo Hidalgo, a few other things they kind of try to piece together.
Archives book that came out a couple years back that's like the size of a coffee table.
Yes, right.
Isn't that book like $300 and something? It's like
it
ridiculous.
Is?
I think it's like a ridiculous amount, and they only did so many printings.
Oh, so it's even more now. Like if you want to get one, you got to pay through the nose on eBay or some shit. Huh. So some of the interesting plot points are, one, Leia apparently was going to be the main character, like focusing on her rebuilding the Republic and all the bullshit politics that like trying to avoid all the bullshit politics that allowed Palps to take over the first time, essentially is what she's trying to do. So I'm sure there's going to be heaps of Trade Federation talk and taxation. I'm just kidding. But he said, quote, "I had planned for the first trilogy to be about the father, the second trilogy to be about the son, and the third trilogy to be about the daughter and the grandchildren." And apparently he was going to reveal Leia, not Luke, as
to be the chosen one.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because you got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and she was the Force Ghost in episode 8. So
full circle.
Full circle.
It's all religion. It's always all religion.
I think George Lucas is a closet Catholic.
I think George Lucas has lost his fucking mind. Like, the more I read about this, like, there's some ideas, but there's also like, and there's a bunch of them that they don't talk about it, but the Wills was to be like this big thing. Like, it wasn't enough for the midichlorians. He was going to go full in on like the bacteria and the cells and all this stuff. And like, he wanted to like really like delve into the way that the Wills changed or ran the history of things through people in the Force. Like, it was, I don't know. I think that's why Disney was like, you know what? Let's dump this fucking script.
The biology of the Force.
Yeah.
I was really geeking out on a molecular level.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like the idea of it. I don't want to watch 3 movies about it.
Right.
You know?
Sure. And this is, old plans from his, but I'm trying to think, I don't know when this script was put together. I mean, it was obviously pre-sale.
Yeah. He started working on it in 2012, I think, and that's when he brought in Michael Ardent, who was I can't remember what he won what did he win the Academy Award for? Was it not Fargo, Argo? I think I can't remember what he won the Academy Award for, but then he was brought in for that because when he sold it to Disney, he had like all of the 3 fleshed out the story, but I think there was a script like for episode 7.
But no, okay. So he had the storyline for 7, 8, 9, but the script was actually there for 7.
When he knew when he was going to sell that it would be worth more had he already like started the process of the new trilogy. He'd already talked to the actors.
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
I was was my face betraying me?
I see you. I thought maybe you were going to talk.
I have a question. I'm holding on to it
Okay.
until you're done rambling on about scripts and.
Did I lose you? Sorry.
No, I'm listening intently.
All right.
At what point do you guys think Disney just said, "We've lost all faith in you, George Lucas"? And he created this whole fucking universe,
right?
And at what point in the prequels do you think they looked at him and were like, "This guy's not going to write 7, 8, and 9"? Like, because he's sitting there, he's probably like, in his house smoking a blunt, fucking writing 7, 8, and 9. He's like, "There's no way that they're not going to take my script version.
Right.
I wrote this whole thing, I created the whole thing, blah blah blah." And then they're like, "No, we're going to go in a different direction. Thanks for everything you've done, but you're really fucked up in 1, 2, and 3, 1 and 2 at least."
Well, or is it one of those scenes where like he hands them as he's signing off all the papers and turning over Star Wars? He's like, "By the way, here's the script for 7," and they're just like, "Thanks," right into the garbage can.
Yeah.
We file this under "we don't give a fuck."
I think it was they were gonna buy Star Wars regardless, right? Like it's a no-brainer to buy this. And it was probably like one of those like 80s corporate scenes where they're just like fucking stroking them off and yeah, we'll do that. Yeah. And the whole time they've already got people in the fucking back room developing a story group. Like, how do we make this Disney's version, Right. So I think they lied to him, gave him the $4 billion, whatever, and tossed everything in the trash.
Yeah. It's tricky because I think, in some ways they want, especially the relationship with Kathleen Kennedy, they want that. They don't want to make it a huge rift, but at the same time, they want to have their own ideas and not have him like going like, "Well, I wouldn't do it that way. That's not the way you're supposed to do it." Because he's consulted on some stuff, but even that's got to be kind of a tense situation and awkward because how much do you take in? And I think that's why the Filoni relationship is so key, is because I think he's the guy who knows how to talk to George and make sure his ideas and like original thoughts are somehow worked in.
Yeah.
But also like, "I got it, George. Don't worry about it." And then he has to go back and be like, "Look, guys, we got to do this because he really thinks this is important."
Favreau's like the fanboy whenever he gets around. "Hey, did you recognize this? We brought this in." He's like, "Yeah, that's real cool. Where's Dave?"
Who is this nerd? Get him out of here. Where's my Padawan?
Favreau's like, "Man, I've made billions of dollars." He's fucking talking himself up in the mirror.
You ever seen fucking Iron Man? Huh?
Yeah. Fuck you, George.
I don't know if Disney's doing this on purpose or it's like retroactively after people were bitching about the trilogy, but it does seem like they're picking and choosing things. Even like when you look at some of the ideas that were in this, they were done just like in a different way.
Right. And I think that's part of it too. I think there was a part of them that probably went, no, we got our own concept here. And then they started, either they borrowed some originally, but they also, I think as they went along went, "You know what? Let's go back to that script again that he had, or that story outline he had. That's pretty good. That's pretty good." You know what I mean? I think they wanted to take some of that framework and bring it over. So the time period's different because the way he was going to do it, the trilogy was going to start like a couple years after Return of the Jedi,
which makes no fucking sense.
So, well, I think he really wanted to get into one of the big things about his whole story, the whole arc of this. A lot of the original trilogy was playing off of like the Vietnam War, right?
Yeah.
So then the sequel trilogy, he was using some parallels to like what happened in Iraq. That it was like, hey, okay, you've fought the war, you've won. Now what? Like now what comes from that? How do you build back up? You know, what do you do if stormtroopers refuse to give up and the fact that the Empire lost? And so there was a quote, he said, there's this underworld. There are these offshoot stormtroopers who started their own planets. That's pretty sweet. And Luke is trying to restart the Jedi. The Jedi have to grow again from scratch. So Luke has to find 2 and 3-year-olds and train them. Oh, Luke Skywalker daycare.
Which is what he's doing right now in The Mandalorian.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Skywalker Tykes.
Yeah.
Sky Tykes.
Sky Tykes. What did you mentioned what parallels were there to the Vietnam War in 1, 3, 4, and 5, or 4, 5, and 6? You were saying something about that?
It was World War II, wasn't it?
There's a lot of World War II, but I think the Vietnam War as well. I'm trying to, there was a great article I read about it that really parallels it all, and I'm just totally blanking right now on all the parallels.
Okay.
But I'll send it to you. It really breaks it down and kind of gives you the rundown of how, because so much of the stuff that he's doing is, you can see it in real life. Like you said, World War II, because the whole Nazi thing and the stormtroopers and all that's just obvious. But yeah, he's certainly drawing on those. And so that's where his mind was going, was how do you rebuild from this? Which is interesting because I've been reading that Aftermath series, and I'm on the last book. I got like 100 pages to go. And they really get into that, where they're talking about, okay, so we spent all this energy in this fight to win against this evil empire. Now what the fuck do we do?
Right.
Because you end up with like all this crazy lawlessness out there.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to like formulate this new republic, but not be like the empire was. So it's a real, shaky ground trying to figure out how exactly to set up this new republic.
Did we ever find out where Moff Gideon came from?
No.
So he could have been like the offshoot of some sorts, right? Like that kind of was what I thought of originally, because he was really powerful, right? So post Empire, right after Episode 7 or 6, I'm sorry, right after Episode 6, right before 7, right? He's kind of like a local.
Well, what do we go
He's
through?
kind of
Like
more of like
a Moff is like the governor of like a region, right? Of planets. Is that what it is?
And then a Grand Moff is a
That's
series.
what it is. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, we're not sure. He's a little bit of a man of mystery. We don't know all the details of his background, which we're gonna probably get a lot more information on in Mando season 3, because from what he said a while back, he said seasons 3 and 4 his role increases quite a bit. Or maybe that was just him saying that, so they would do it.
Yeah. Well, they'll do a flashback episode where it's just one whole episode of Moff Gideon, but you find out like he was just like a fucking radar tech or something. And after the Empire fell, he just like took someone's uniform and put it on and decided like he's some big cheese.
I like that move.
Everyone's checking the records. They're like, we have him nowhere.
Or he could have been like Kirk Douglas in Falling Down, where he fucking just finally snaps one day on his way to the office.
There we go.
I ordered the blue milk, and it doesn't look like that picture.
Right. Then the main villain was going to be Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those where you see that and you're like, really? But it makes sense, because this is why so much effort was being paid to building that character back up and bringing him back in animation. It was a setup to get, to have him be the big bad in the sequel trilogy. What's interesting too is, so a couple things. One, they said he was going to kind of unite the criminal syndicates, which they sort of had him do in Clone Wars, right?
Yes. It was sort of wrapping up to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they said he was going to bring that together with like the remnants of the old empire to essentially challenge the new republic. So, but the bigger thing that was interesting was the fact that he was supposed to have an apprentice, Darth Talon.
Yes.
Which I don't know if you've seen a picture of Darth Talon, Cole. You need to look it up right now, because
that's all it took was Disney was like, this ain't happening.
She is a character created in the comics. She is a sexpot Twi'lek, very scantily clad.
She makes Asajj Ventress look like a fucking nun.
Yes, because these are movies for kids, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this looks like. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she's cute.
All of a sudden, Cole's like, I want that sequel trilogy now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what's her face. I already forgot her name from Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. My boo thing. It's,
oh God. Oh God.
Fizzla. No, no. Garza Fwip.
Garza Fwip. There you
go. There we go.
Garza who is what I was going to say. This girl's, Yeah, she's more my style. Look at that. She's like a demon.
She's more my style.
You know she's got a BDSM kit somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Look at her.
It's on her belt.
Good God.
Never leave home without it.
I hope she's not a dom because I would be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, she definitely is. She's known for whooping ass.
She'd have a brand of the Empire on my ass.
She must tease the fuck out of Maul, too, because she's just like, dancing all over him. And he's like, I have no penis. She's like, I know. Sucks, doesn't it?
Let me play with your nipples. It'll give you a little bit of sensation.
Yeah, so that would have been interesting. But also, apparently Luke was still going to die in episode 8. That was always the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was even referenced like back when it happened and everybody's mad about it. And Matt and Ryan Johnson's are like, this was Lucas's plan all along. He was always supposed to die in 8.
Right.
So.
But there was I think it might be Paul Blow's. There was another article where there was because I think what this is just like when you look into like when Star Wars was developed, the Star Wars, before it was the New Hope, like it took him 4 or 5 years to write it, and he kept changing the name of the characters and evolving everything. And it seems like when you start reading behind the scenes on this, I think it was the same evolution. There were things that were changing and developing, and then there was something else. So it depends on what era of this like development you're talking about. Like that's why some of it contradicts itself.
Well, he's a tinkerer,
right?
I mean, the guy loves the editing room, and so I think he's always messing with those scripts. I can only imagine and that's probably one of the things that Disney thought too, was just like, oh God, he's just going to keep coming back with changes and changes and changes. Like we gotta go and actually film this thing now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the idea there being that Luke's death leaves like this hole in the Jedi Order, and then that's I think where Han and Leia's kids are going to kind of come into play, maybe to try to kind of take that mantle. I don't know how fleshed out that all the kids were, although something we've talked about before in the show, not necessarily one of their kids. They didn't really say this, but there was supposed to be like a Rey type character, 14-year-old, and her name was going to be Taryn or
Winky.
Yeah,
but the art that they show, her name was Kira at the time.
Oh,
and then there were, as that evolved, it was different names as well. But I don't think they ever said whether it was an apprentice of Luke or it was one of the children. But at one point there's art of like siblings as well, and that was believed to be Han and Leia's kids.
Wonky and Winky. Twins.
Watto and Winky.
Test audiences didn't care for Kira, so they decided to go with something a little bit more mainstream.
Winky. Like Winky.
I'm still waiting for your graphic novel, Winky and the Wookiee.
It's coming.
Yeah, work on that. So anyway, a lot here. Like you said, that some stuff does kind of contradict itself, but I don't know. I think it would have been interesting. I have a feeling, even with the buildup, like I have a feeling that if Maul would have showed up in episode 7 as the big bad, people would have, the casual Star Wars fans for sure, like would have been like, fuck this. It's like it's like the reaction they had in Solo when all of a sudden he showed up at the end and everybody's like, what? Because they didn't know the other history.
Right.
So, they would have been like, why is he, bringing this guy back? Although then again, they brought the Emperor back. So then maybe they wouldn't be that surprised.
Yeah. Now, this was like during the time. So the Clone Wars was already happening. I'm trying to think when did
Rebels is until like 14.
Right. But Rebels was under Disney, right? And that's Rebels was when they did the episode. Okay, so when did they kill? Was it the last season of Clone Wars or was it Rebels?
For Maul, you're talking about?
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's Rebels.
Kenobi kills him in Rebels.
Okay.
But I'm assuming this was out.
That's season 3.
Is it? Okay.
It's like toward the very end of season 3.
Which was Disney stuff, which was like when they bought it, that's one of the big things they changed. Because obviously if he died then he
that's
couldn't,
not happening.
He couldn't be a big bad
He
later.
killed him in Rebels or was it in Clone Wars?
It was in Rebels.
Okay.
It was the Twin Sons episode, late season 3, like the second to last episode or something.
Okay.
So spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen Rebels.
Right.
Anyway, that was kind of all I had. Just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, there's a bunch in here that'd be nice to see. I can see why Disney didn't go that route though. And I see one of them, like everyone's got the problem with Rey, but and what doesn't make sense is like she's not a Skywalker, and like up until 7, sort of the story of the Skywalkers. But I see why like they started like with like new footing, right? Like these are our characters, and I think it got messed up. It would have worked. Like to me, I think everybody involved or like viewers would like to have seen all of the originals back from the get go, right? Even if they're introducing new characters. But that was one of Michael Arden's
the big 3, you mean?
Yeah, that was one of Michael Arden's problems, though. He said every time he was trying to put the story together and he'd write, The second Luke Skywalker came into it, it didn't matter who the characters were, who the main story was
they just
about.
Faded away.
Yeah, it became Luke Skywalker every time.
Right.
He said that was a very difficult thing, and I think and he was writing, like Lawrence Kasdan was involved with that. And then the same thing when I think that's why you don't see him until the end of 7, because JJ the same way. Because what do you do? I can see that to be truth. Like if you're trying to start like this new era of Star Wars, right? It's a little tricky when you've got like we all wanted that, but it's a little hard to go minute 1 further down the road when you've got fucking Luke Skywalker. Like, look at the way we fucking shit our pants in The Mandalorian. That'd have been us all the way through the episode 7. Who gives a fuck about all these characters, you know?
Right, but I mean, you only get the first like third of episode 7 before Han shows up. You know what I mean? And then that turns into the Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard as people who, you know, grew up on and just love the original trilogy. You bring those original characters back, or we're gonna cling to them, you know. And so are a lot of people because they haven't, you know, seen the other stuff. So I don't know. It's a tough one to handle. I could see why JJ did that. I can only imagine the look on his face when he read Luke throws the lightsaber over his shoulder and walks off. What?
Well, yeah, and they show
I
like
spent 2 minutes on that scene. Like
the original production, like when we're going into production, was that black and white photo of everyone in the room doing the read, right? And Mark Hamill's there, and he did like all the stage direction or everything like they talked about. But you imagine them going through that, and he's like, "I'm in this fucking movie," and all the PR was fucking about, you know, Mark Hamill's back, and it's that last fucking scene. Yeah. So it was a letdown for damn sure.
Yeah,
for him.
All right, should we go to the Maul Bag?
Why not?
Let's do it.
Hello there.
You've got mail.
Kenobi!
We have 6 emails, sort of. This is just ridiculous. But let's get started with our favorite.
Hi, I'm Date Mike. Nice to meet me. Hey, Mike.
Everybody hates you. Everybody wishes that you were dead.
He's back, Mike Laybourne. The rest of the show is going to be pretty heavy Mike Laybourne, just to warn listeners.
Yeah, so you guys can all just tune out right now.
I think
Cole is lean back in his chair and close his eyes.
Take a nap.
Email number 1 from Mike Laybourne. Just because Jay wanted 6 emails, otherwise he'd quit the show or something. He goes on to send all these. We all know the coolest Star Wars weapon is the lightsaber. Am I right, Dave? Oh, Dave. But we can't all be winners. Oh, so what would be your weapon if you couldn't get one? He's really, he wrote this while crying.
Yeah.
Would you go for a trusty blaster or get up close and personal with a melee weapon? Kind regards, Mike. Now, quick note, by the way, this does play into a later question we get from somebody else, but I think we can address this.
Okay.
I would just, airdrop a thermal detonator that's already been ignited into his house for him.
I don't think that was the question.
That's my choice.
Not weapon would you use on Mike?
Oh, I'm sorry. I twisted that for my own cruel purposes. I like the thermal detonator idea.
Okay.
That's my like hand grenade. I like to throw things and run.
I like Zeb's weapon.
Oh yeah.
Zeb's weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that rifle.
Yeah.
Well,
What is that?
It's like with a shock
Bow,
sticker.
a bow.
Yeah,
It's a bow staff.
Yeah.
Bow rifle.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
It's a bow
Yeah.
rifle.
Yeah, that was pretty badass. I mean, I think I'm old school. I really like Han's weapon. It's sleek.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's iconic. I like that gun. It obviously shoots well.
You can also build it into a sniper rifle.
Right.
Good point. Yeah, exactly.
Very
He
versatile.
never does that. He never does that later, but he knows how it works.
Perhaps Chewie's crossbow would be a good one too.
Heavy.
Yeah, that fucking thing's got some hit to it.
Han likes that.
Yeah, he did.
He did, but that thing's heavy to lug around. I think you want something that's you can hide on your person and that you can kind of run around with a little bit.
I don't know if you know this, but I can bench press well over 50 pounds.
Strong.
Okay,
this is where it gets silly. Email number 2 from Mike Laybourne. I've run out of questions, so here's some photos of stuff. Fucking picture of his dog. Then it's a picture of 3PO on like a speeder. It was a Lego.
Lego version.
Then it's a picture of Chopper. Respect. Then it's a picture of Braden Holtby of the it's when he was on the Washington Capitals.
I wouldn't know
really
who that was.
stretching here, Mike.
All right.
I thought
Thanks,
that was
though.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So he sent these in
wearing hockey
separate
gear.
emails?
He sent them all in separate emails, yeah. So I
Jeez.
respect the effort, but come on. Email number 6 if you want to call it 6 after all those. Brian Hour. This is similar to Mike's question. Okay, serious question here. Good. I'm sick of these fluff questions. Which style of blaster, here we go, are you carrying on your hip as you wander across the galaxy? Now, he lays out a bunch of options here. Mm-hmm. He mentions the Han, the DL-44, the stylish DL-18, like Luke used in Jabba's palace. What did Luke use in Jabba's palace?
He force-pulled a blaster from a Gamorrean, I think, right?
There's a guy standing there, and he pulls his gun and tries to shoot Jabba, and that's when he goes into the...
And the Gamorrean that saves him goes into the pit, and then Jabba's like, fuck that guy. Yeah. Thanks for saving my life, but...
Yeah, they're expendable. Yeah. That's why they respect Boba so much, because he has love for them.
He feeds them and doesn't throw them in a pit.
Lets them get pushed off a cliff.
Yeah, they get pushed off a damn cliff. An EE-3, like Fett, that intimidates, so that's kind of that like almost like sawed-off shotgun-looking thing that he's got.
Okay. Oh. And there's the dogs.
Boy. God damn it. Cue the goddamn dogs. You'll see them at Celebration in 2 years. A random E11 from a fallen stormtrooper. Oh. Or something sleek in your cloak like Django's West Star 34S. I think that's that like metallic pistol that he was shooting. Oh, he says, myself, I've always liked the Wookiee bowcaster. There you go. But the DH-17 used by Rebel troopers.
No, I'm going to go with the Mandalorians, that fucking rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The incinerator.
Yep.
Incinerator. Jesus Christ. Incinerator.
I like that.
I combined 2 words there.
Yep. I like the incinerator.
It's the incinerator of the incinerator. Incinerator. So what's the difference between the DH-17 and the the DL, the E11? So what's the E11? What's the DH-17? I'm going to have to look this up because I've always liked the original Stormtrooper one.
That's that. I think the E11 is the original Stormtrooper blaster, which I think that's kind of cool. I always liked theirs.
I always didn't like how Luke extended out with it. He held it like it was a pistol, but it was basically meant. I think you were supposed to.
I think that was because he didn't know how to use a gun.
Right. Well, I don't think he
was a moist farm.
He was blasting stormtroopers from the fucking bridges, like him and Leia. Leia was using it the same way when they were trying to. The bridge is out. What do we do? And they grappling hook across. Remember? Shooting back and forth, dodging around the corners.
They should have showed more recoil. Like they really fucked it up. Like, whoa, shit! You know, they didn't have 2 hands on it.
Well, that's not really. It doesn't have a stock, so you can't really shoulder fire it and get a good eye on the fucking. So you gotta. It's kind of like you just hold it.
Yeah.
You gotta hold it like into your sternum, like
a sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah, like hip fire almost.
Right.
I've always liked that one, but if I'm gonna go with something, I like the dual wield, the West Star 34s. I like that idea, like the. But they kind of look like the stupid fucking gun that the Lugers. You know what I'm saying? There's a World War II.
A Luger reference.
There's a World War II reference for you. That's what the Nazi officers carried. Right? It was Lugers.
Yeah. So, yeah. I would definitely not go with the pew pew weapons that like Hera had and that the fucking street kids in Book of Boba had. Those
the
things
noisy
are
crickets.
Fucking trash.
Right.
The noisy crickets.
Oh, terrible.
I guess I'm going with Han's DL-44. I'll do that. That's my choice. What does fucking Cobb Vanth run?
Good question. I don't know what he has. Brian?
Yeah, Brian.
Let us know, Brian. And also, answer our question. What's the difference between the DH-17 or the E11 and the E11?
Okay.
Follow up email.
All right.
Jay, what'd you pick, Jay?
I didn't pick out of this list, but I said the Mandalorian's Incintegrator.
Incintegrator.
Yeah.
Incintegrator.
It has been deemed so.
That might be the title of the episode.
We got to figure out a name. We got to call it something when we just fucking take it over, like the Incintegrator beef cargo. What has it been? Factbatized?
Yes, there we go.
It's been factbatized.
All right. Speaking of that, we don't have a factbatoid this week because we have another round of factpa or fiction.
Woo! It's been a while. I don't remember what the second round questions were or
I know,
our answers.
it has been a while.
Did you go back and listen? Did you have to get some proof?
I had to go get proof.
Okay.
He didn't even score it this time for me. He's given up on that. So coming in, I think last time I had 8, Jay had 6, and Cole had 5. So we'll see how we do this time, and we'll just keep that running tally going. So,
all right.
Number 1.
Wait, hold on. Did you make a spreadsheet?
No, just wrote it down on the doc.
Okay.
I should make a spreadsheet. Good idea.
Yeah.
Look at him shamefully like, no, I didn't.
Every season we'll keep the score of.
Well, in the third round.
Yeah.
Lando's full name is Landonus Balthazar Calrissian. Jay said false. Cole and I said true. It's true.
Wow.
Take that, Balthazar.
Yeah.
Teras Kasi, number 2. Teras Kasi, a martial art used in Star Wars, translates as steel hand in Finnish. We all said true. It is true.
Okay.
Solo, a Star Wars story, is a really good movie. We all said true, of course, and it is true.
Fuck you, Chris.
Undeniably true. General Hux has a cat named Millicent. Cole said true. Jay and I said false. He said it's false, but at some point, I guess Pablo Hidalgo tried to like throw it out there on Twitter as a joke.
Okay.
So it has some stem of truth behind it, but really it is false. He does not have a cat named Millicent. There are 2 Wilhelm screams in Empire Strikes Back. Cole said true. Jay and I said false. It's true.
What?
So there's 2 Wilhelm screams.
Hey-o.
He said there's one on. He said he didn't think so either, but he looked it up. There was one on Hoth, I guess, when one of the rebels gets killed on Hoth, and then the other one that I can remember now is in the Carbonite scene when Chewie goes fucking wild and he dumps one of those troopers into the.
Oh yeah.
And he does the Wilhelm scream then. So I guess there
Okay.
are 2.
Wow.
Number 6, Imperial Star Destroyers were inspired by a gray Dorito found by designer Ben Burt. Cole and I said false. Jay said true. It's false.
Okay.
I like your stab there, though. In Attack of the Clones, there's a Starbucks on Coruscant. Although its name was translated into Arabesh, you can make out the logo. Cole and I said true. Jay said false. It's false. And in the episode, when I listen back, you're like, I think I would have known that, though. That's what you said. Number 8, between episodes 4 and 5, the Millennium Falcon grew 2 more legs. We all said true. It is true. Boba Fett, number 9. Boba Fett flew not only Slave 1, but Slave 2, 3, and 4. We said false. That's true.
What?
This
come
motherfucker
on.
had all sorts of versions of it because apparently what happened is I looked up a little bit on it. Like Slave 1 got severely damaged, so he got another ship, Slave 2, but he kept going back to Slave 1. But he had 3 other versions of his ship. Can you fucking believe that?
Like Batman, he's just got different types of Batmobiles for whatever mission he needs.
It's this Matt will appreciate this. It's the Honda Civic of the fucking Star Wars galaxy. You can interchangeable parts.
There you go.
Good on gas.
Gets stolen all the time.
Gets stolen all the time.
Yeah, it's so good on gas. You walk all the way across the desert to get to town all the time. Except for when you leave a fight to go get your ship in the last episode.
Number 10. The model used to animate the Rancor in Return of the Jedi was named Kirk after Kirk Douglas offended George Lucas's wife. I said true for the hell of it. Cole and Jay said false. It is false. So Cole had 7 right, number 1 that round.
Hey-o.
Jay and I had 6. So the overall tally is me with 14 and you guys with 12. So
Okay.
there you go. Now,
Those in the
let's go to the new
distance.
questions. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm going to sweep it.
Number 1. Anthony
All right.
Daniels couldn't sit down in the C-3PO costume, so for seated scenes, was shot from the waist up. I mean, looking at him maneuver around in that thing, I'd say true.
True. And he also had a prolapsed anus.
A little known fact. That's bonus points. Is that bonus points, Mike?
I'm going to say true because I know like there's shots of him like leaning up against shit
Yeah, right.
when he has all the armor on.
I think it
I'm
was
just
stiff.
trying to see if I can picture a scene where he was sitting down and you could see his legs. Because this is probably for A New Hope, right?
I would think.
Because then maybe they got a little bit. I think you see him. We'll go with true. We're all going true?
Yeah, true.
All right.
Number 2, Anakin's pod racer was built out of an old Maserati birdcage, which is a classic car like the Jaguar E-Type or the Honda Civic.
He knows us so well.
Lucas is a car guy.
True.
That's a tough one.
So just the pod, the fuselage part, the part that he sits in, right?
I'm guessing
That's
that's what
the-
he means. I'm guessing
I'd
that's
say
what he
true.
means.
I say true.
I think I got to go true. It could be
Yeah.
a setup, but I
Yeah,
think that's
true.
true. Number 3, Yavin and Endor are real towns in Europe. I'm going to say false.
False.
Yavin and Endor are
Yeah.
real towns. It's got to be fucking true. There's so many towns and everywhere. The names got to be like reused.
Yeah, but you see fucking like people visiting those damn towns,
That's what I'm thinking.
right?
Yeah, they'd be like, I'm in Endor, fucking
Yeah.
Belgium.
Right.
or whatever. Cole, you said true, though?
I say true.
Okay. Number 4, the Ewoks' victory song from Return of the Jedi was written by the lead singer of Toto. I think that's true. I think I
Yoto.
read something about that once.
Okay, I'm gonna piggyback on Matt's confidence. I'll say true.
The Toto thing sounds familiar, but I don't know if that's what it was. But I'll go true.
Okay, so we're all true. Number 5, this is great. Rob Gronkowski was an uncredited cameo as a Wookiee in Solo.
Jay might not have the knowledge on this one. He'd probably say true.
Football guy. False.
He's huge.
Yeah.
So false.
Early versions, number 6. Early versions of Yoda describe the character as being 9 feet tall.
He's really on this height disparity thing.
False.
Yeah,
False.
I'll say false too. Number 7. After Peter Cushing famously wore carpet slippers on the Death Star, the book Tarkin opens with the character redesigning his uniform to include comfortable boots.
Shut up.
The funny thing is, so many of these, you're like, that's stupid. No way.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to like he throws us off with the Rob Gronkowski thing, and then he fucking hits us with a fucking true one.
Yeah.
There's a
I wanna go back and change
reasoning
my
to his
answer.
order?
Yeah. There's a method to his madness. I'm gonna say true on the slippers.
I'm going to say false.
Yeah, I'll say false.
Okay. Number 8, a Topps trading card, 207. That's very specific. Shows C-3PO with a massive erection for Cole, presumably. he gives you the number of the damn trading card.
Yeah, that's
Again,
false.
is this a setup? I don't know how to trust him anymore. If I ever sit down in front of this guy, I'm not going to believe anything he says.
Did we ever trust him?
No.
His judgment has been in question for a long time. I'm gonna go false.
Yeah.
I'll say true just to be different. Number 9, the Cantina music from The Force Awakens was composed by Lin-Manuel Miranda. That is true. I know that's true.
Okay. True.
That's an absolute fact. And number 10, Benicio del Toro was originally cast as Darth Maul. Isn't that true?
Yes, that's true.
True.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say true.
So that's it for the questions. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate all the emails, and thanks for sending in the fact, pa.
We'd like to say we appreciate you, but we'll say thanks for listening, and until next time,
Never tell us the odds.
In our experience, there's no such thing as luck.
we have spoken.